morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Sip and Talk. I'm Joe.
I'm Sunny.
So, I'm just going to pour us some coffee here.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I need that today.
Yeah, you hear that ice clinking? It's much needed.
Yeah.
So, I've got a question for you to start things off. Have you been feeling this, really intense numbing effect lately when you scroll through the news?
You mean just generally, just fatigue from all the chaos?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're all sitting in a pot of water, right? And it's slowly boiling, but nobody is really noticing the temperature going up because we're just so used to the heat.
Oh, the classic boiling frog situation. Yeah, I mean, every day is a new crisis, so eventually, nothing feels like a crisis anymore.
Right. And look at where we are right now. I mean, it's June 2026. If you look at the map, Chinese Coast Guard ships and these massive marine research vessels are just, strolling through Taiwan's eastern waters, every single day.
Yeah, just taking a casual walk. And we're seeing these heavy military drones brushing right up against the actual 12 nautical mile airspace limit. A few years ago, if that happened, it would be World War III breaking news. Red banners on every screen.
Oh, absolutely. People would be glued to their TVs.
I know now. It's oh, look, another drone. Anyway, what's for lunch? People just scroll right past it to find restaurant recommendations.
It's crazy, but honestly, that is exactly the gray zone effect that Beijing wants. I mean, when you make aggression look like a boring daily routine, it completely paralyzes your defensive reflexes. It just becomes background noise.
Right. But okay, here's the crazy part. The real drama, and this is what I want to get into with Sip and Talkers today, the real drama isn't actually what's happening outside the island. It's what's happening inside.
You're talking about the legislature.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
While this massive external threat is literally peeking outside their windows, Taiwan's legislature is essentially locked in a room throwing vases at each other.
Yeah, the 2026 central budget is just totally frozen right now.
Frozen. And the ruling party's domestic drone national team budget, which, remember, was supposed to be the ultimate asymmetric answer to this blockade, that's been slashed and completely stalled out.
Which is wild. So for our conversation today, I think we really need to take everyone out of their usual echo chambers and just unpack this whole four-way chessboard.
Yes, let's do it. So we've got China, the Taiwanese ruling party, the Taiwanese opposition, and, of course, us, the United States.
Right. Because there are some deep underlying strategic and psychological conflicts here that honestly, nobody really wants to say out loud.
They really don't. But before we get into why the internal political fight is so absurd, we have to look at exactly what the adversary is doing right outside the door.
The new normal.
Exactly. Let's look at the June 2026 data, because it's not just the Taiwan Strait in the West anymore, is it?
No, not at all. That's the old playbook. Right now, China's Coast Guard and ships like the Shenyang 22, which is a massive research vessel, they're operating constantly on the eastern Pacific side.
The east side, which used to be the safe zone.
Right. They're sitting right in the 24 nautical mile contiguous zone. And just recently, they inspected, I think, 198 civilian ships.
Wow.
Yeah, and they issued corrections to 3 of them. They're out there surveying submarine cables. Meanwhile, military drones like the TB-001 and the BZK-005 are flying right into the airspace. And you've got ships harassing the restricted waters down south around Taiping Island.
You know what it feels like? It's like a toxic ex who legally can't break into your house. So instead, they just walk their dog in your front yard every single morning.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. They check your mailbox. They blast heavy metal music at 2 a.m. And when you finally call the cops, the ex just throws their hands up and says, "What? I'm just taking a walk on the sidewalk."
Right. I'm not doing anything illegal. But the true goal here isn't just to be annoying. The strategic why is actually about a slow, methodical economic suffocation.
How so? What's the mechanism there?
Well, think about global shipping. By internalizing those eastern waters, they can spike global shipping insurance rates. If insurers think it's a war zone, premiums go through the roof.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about the insurance side.
Yeah. And for an island that imports 98% of its energy, that is devastating. They can cut off the energy supply without ever firing a single missile.
Okay, so the house is basically surrounded, the X is in the yard. You'd think the people inside the house would be frantically rushing to build a security system, right?
You would think so, but no.
No. Instead, the roommates are fighting over the fire extinguisher while the kitchen is on fire. Let's break down this legislature deadlock.
The budget fight.
Yeah. So the ruling party proposed this massive, roughly $40 billion special defense budget.
Yeah.
And it was heavily focused on building a swarm system of over 200,000 drones.
Which sounds like a solid plan on paper.
Right. But then the opposition, the Blue and White Coalition, comes in and slashes it down to 25 billion. They basically gutted the domestic drone portion. And now, even the backup $6.6 billion project for 2026 is sitting frozen.
And just for context, right now, Taiwan has fewer than 10,000 combat-relevant drones.
Which is nothing compared to the threat.
It really is nothing. But, looking at it objectively, we have to understand the ruling party's argument here. It's heavily based on patriotism and national security. I mean, Ukraine proved to the world that cheap drone swarms are really the only way to fight a massive asymmetric war.
Oh, totally.
So from their perspective, delaying this budget is practically castrating the island's defense capabilities. They feel like the opposition is just doing Beijing's job for them.
I hear that, and the patriotism angle plays really well. But I have to counter that with the opposition's fiscal reality angle, because you can't just write a blank check, slap the word patriotism on it, and ignore reality.
What's the reality they're pointing to?
Well, the ruling party is demanding what they call a 100% non-red supply chain, meaning absolutely zero Chinese parts in these drones.
Right, a totally clean supply chain.
Which is a complete industry fantasy. Over 70% of high-value drone parts globally, I'm talking motors, batteries, RF modules, they come from China.
Oh, because they control all the raw materials and rare earths.
Exactly. So if you try to force a 100% domestic build from scratch, those drones become 3 to 5 times more expensive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And get this, some of these local contractors were already caught sneaking in Chinese parts anyway. They just relabeled them. So the opposition is asking, is this actually about national security, or are politically connected green tech bros just profiting off a crisis?
So are we defending the country, or are we just lining our friends' pockets?
Yes. So, like I said, the kitchen is on fire, and they're arguing over whether to buy the expensive brand name fire extinguisher or launch an investigation into the manufacturer. Meanwhile, the fire's just getting bigger.
It's a perfect storm. And it brings up this really dangerous blind spot that both sides seem to have when they compare themselves to Ukraine.
The Ukraine illusion.
Exactly. Because the ruling party wants to replicate Ukraine, sinking the Russian Black Sea Fleet with these asymmetric drones. But Taiwan isn't Ukraine.
Right. Geography matters.
It dictates everything. Ukraine has land borders. They can receive endless convoys of Western supplies, parts, and weapons. Taiwan is an isolated island.
So if things kick off, nothing is getting in.
Exactly. And if they start firing these immature, overpriced domestic drones at Chinese ships in the Eastern Waterships that are technically in a gray zone taking a walk, what happens?
Oh, it just gives Beijing the perfect excuse.
Right. Beijing says, look, this is an act of terrorism, and they use it to justify a full kinetic blockade.
Which is terrifying, and honestly, it leads right into the psychological war, because Beijing doesn't even need to win a military battle here, do they?
No, they don't. And this is the most chilling part of the whole deadlock. By letting Taiwan's democratic checks and balances paralyze its own defense procurement, Beijing creates this collective psychological depression across the island.
Like a learned helplessness.
Exactly. It sends a message to the public. Look at your leaders. They can't even buy drones. We shouldn't fight back. We can't get the upper hand. It's totally useless. It is the ultimate evolution of cognitive warfare.
Wow. Okay, so while all this internal paralysis is happening, I have to ask, what are we doing? Like the United States, we're just standing outside the burning house yelling at them to spend more money.
Yeah, we are. We're yelling pretty loudly, actually.
I mean, look at the recent Shangri-La dialogue. Our defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, was extremely blunt. He demanded that allies need to spend 3.5 to 5% of their GDP on defense.
5%.
5%. Do you know what that means for Taiwan? That's up to $1 trillion NTD.
That would just bankrupt them.
Totally bankrupt them. It would gut their social and economic infrastructure. And the reason we are pushing them to spend so much is because of our Indo-Pacific Command's new playbook, the Hellscape strategy.
Oh, yeah.
The Hellscape.
Can you explain that for the listeners who haven't heard of it? Because the name alone is intense.
Exactly what it sounds like. The strategy is to turn the Taiwan Strait into a literal automated graveyard. We want to flood the zone with thousands of unmanned drones, air, surface, underwater, just to create total chaos and delay a Chinese invasion for a month.
Okay, so we want Taiwan to be this frontline meat grinder, a literal minefield island.
Right.
But here's where I get so frustrated with our policy. There's a massive hypocrisy here, or like a huge trust issue.
Because of the tech restrictions.
Yes. Because of our strict IITAR rules, the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, we demand they build this massive drone swarm, but we absolutely refuse to share our core military-grade GPS and anti-jamming tech with Taiwan's civilian drone makers. Because Washington is terrified of tech leakage. They think if we give it to them, it might end up in mainland China.
Right. But you can't fly a drone swarm in an electronic warfare environment without that tech. So it's like we're demanding our friend run a marathon, but we're keeping the high-performance running shoes locked in our safe because we don't totally trust them.
Right. Build your own shoes.
Exactly. Build your own shoes from scratch. And then it costs them 5 times as much. The shoes are terrible, and we're just standing there tapping our watches wondering why they aren't running yet.
It is the ultimate irony. I mean, if you summarize this whole mess, China is using gray zones to slowly suffocate the island. The opposition is using valid fiscal oversight, but it inadvertently stalls the entire defense plan.
Yeah.
The ruling party is pushing this hyper-expensive, totally unrealistic supply chain goal. And we are demanding a massive drone army while keeping the best tech locked in our basement.
It's just a total systemic failure of rational actors. Everyone thinks they're doing the right thing.
Exactly. And it leaves us with a really provocative question that goes way beyond just the current facts of this situation.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, think about it. If the future of warfare is determined by who can pump out the most cheap, disposable drones, the fastest, an assembly line war, what happens to democracies?
It's a scary thought.
This is the very nature of democratic oversight. You know, budget hearings, polarized politics, anti-corruption probes. Does all of that become a fatal supply chain bottleneck when you're up against an authoritarian assembly line that can just act instantly?
Wow, that really gives you something to chew on. Can democracy actually survive the speed of modern drone warfare? That's heavy.
It's the big question of the decade, I think.
It really is. Well, I want to remind everyone listening today that in this conversation, we don't take sides. We're not judging any nation's people, and we're not endorsing any political party.
Right. Our goal is just to lay out the complex mechanisms behind the headlines.
Exactly. We just want to encourage independent critical thinking. And Sip&Talkers, if you enjoyed unpacking all this with us today, please make sure to subscribe to the show. We love having you at the table.
And hey, before we go, we have to give a huge shout out to our good buddy Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You guys have to check it out. His new travel vlogs are amazing. And honestly, watching Mickey explore the world is exactly the kind of fun, lighthearted escape you need after a heavy geopolitical discussion like this one.
Totally. Go search for Mickey to Life on YouTube. It's awesome.
Go subscribe. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us today. See you next time.
Take care, everyone.